Amazing. So this is week three of our Thursdays advanced. Cool. So I'm going to go over a few things today. The first thing I'm going to go over, which I think is really, really important, is what we call order blocks. Okay. I think once you understand what order blocks are, it changes the game regarding you making decisions when it comes to trading. So, order blocks are areas of where banks have orders pending. Okay, so we're up against the banks. Well, the banks run the markets, the hedge funds, the big investors, they run the market. We want to make sure we're on the same side as them. Okay, we don't want any beef with the banks. All right, we don't want any beef with any of the investors. So I'm going to go into where to find them and how important they are when it comes to where they can be found. All right. I'm gonna get a new section up. Okay, cool. So, whenever you want to find order blocks, guys, you want to start on the daily. All right. And I'm gonna draw areas, the daily or the four, let's go 4 hour. Okay, because no one's really a swing trader. You guys are all intraday traders. All right. But you want to draw out areas where there's an order block. So I'm gonna draw them out. Okay. So an order block is a buy or a sell or a buy before a move happens. So I'm going to draw this along here. Okay. So from the candles of here, right, if you guys can see this, and if I lose you, stay there with the mindset. Okay. It will make sense. So before this push down, we had a buy and a sell candle. Now, if I pull this all the way across, price will always attract back to this. Now, it's similar to my red zones. It's basically where I draw my red zones, but on every time frame, there's different fractals, which means if you can see it on a 4 hour, you can see it on the 1 minute. So I'm just going to draw out areas on the 4 hour where price eventually has to come to, and you just need to make sure that you're on the right side of the buy or the sell. So for example, I'm going to find another one. Okay, so before this sell, we had a nice buy and we had a sell. I'm going to pull it across. Price came to it again. All right. Let me try and find another section. Okay. So again, down here, this is the same area, but let me try and find a new area. Okay. So before this big push down, we had a buy and a sell candle. So I'm going to draw it here and then I'm going to drag it across. And it's not a surprise that price will attract to it because the banks want to come there. So you can see it's not a coincidence. It literally wicked this area and turned around. So I feel like once you guys understand these areas, and it happens on, like I said, the higher the time frame, the more reliable that area is. So if you do this on the 1 minute, I'm going to show you examples where you're just going to get obliterated because of the order block. So this is a perfect example. Okay. So before this push up, right? Before this push up, guys, we had a sell and a buy. So vice versa. If it's going up, you're going to see a sell buy. If it's going down, you're going to see a buy sell. If I draw this along, if you would have tried to buy in this area, it got obliterated. So it was once a support, it now became a resistance because on the 1 minute time frame, it's not confident. But on the 4 hour time frame, every single time I drew it out, it respected it. Okay, so it didn't obliterate this area, it respected it. This area here, it didn't obliterate it at first, it stayed there for many, many hours, and then it broke through. All right, so the higher the time frame, the more reliable you can be. Here again, came to the area and rejected it. Okay. So let's go down to maybe the 30-minute time frame. All right. And I'm going to go through some of the setups that I went through or I sent out this week. I wish I was in my house today because we could have the trade we was waiting for. The trade I called out was the one that played out, unfortunately. We still made money, but um it we didn't catch the move that we was waiting for. All right. So just drop a one if that made sense, guys. And if you have any questions about order blocks, just drop a two. But I think it's not where you pull the trigger. It's just areas that you need to be aware of. Okay. So it's always, you're either it's going to respect the area or it's going to obliterate the area. Okay. We only got a few ones, guys. I'm assuming the rest of you are looking for the one on your keypad. That's what I'm going to assume. Right. Cool. So let's go into just a few setups. Now you know what I've just told you. Let's back test as well. So these red areas are pretty much my areas of support and resistance, order blocks, whatever you want to call it. All right. So It's not a coincidence, guys, that before this sell happened, right, it left an order block. It left a buy to sell candle, and it's also at my red area. So that's a green flag. Okay. Now, what can we see below? We can see two wicks, right? Or a few wicks, right? Two wicks at least. So these two wicks here, it hasn't pierced it. So what do I mean by that? It hasn't gone through it. So if this wick here had went through, it means that it took people's money that was here. Okay. So people had a stop loss below here. All right. The fact that it hasn't taken it means that people still have money below. Okay. So if looking from left to right, this wick has not taken out this wick. So that means that there's liquidity. All right. So even if you went off market structure, okay, let's just go off the 15-minute time frame. All right. So, right. So we got our low, we got our high, we got our low, our lower. So it didn't create a lower low. It was a higher low. All right. We then created a higher high. It was higher than this. It then retraced down. We then created a higher high. So market is going nice. But the moment it created a lower low, right? So it shouldn't have went lower than this. The fact it did means we just need to wait for a retracement back. Hopefully I got you guys with that. I may have lost you guys. I'll say that again. On a 15-minute time frame, we're going off structure. We got our low, our high. Our low, it didn't go lower than this low, so it's still a higher low. It's higher than the last low. We then created a higher high. It's higher than the last high. Higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, and it didn't respect this area, which again is where my red line is. Okay, so it should have used it as a support, but instead it broke it. Now we just need to make sure that we get in on the retracement. Okay, so on the 30-minute time frame, this is a nice order block. Okay, if I went to the hour time frame, it's a wick. So you guys saw that, right? On a 30-minute time frame, this is an order block. On the 1 minute, on the hour time frame, it means there's a wick. And what does wicks mean? Wicks mean money. You always want to enter or get out at where the wicks are. Okay, so we'll go back to the 30-minute time frame. So we had that nice break of structure. All I need now, we're going off obviously again. Is there a trend line here? It's a bit messy. I don't want to, you could, if you wanted to force it, you could, but sometimes you can just see liquidity without even drawing it. So straight like that, there's a bag of liquidity. Okay. So yeah, that's perfect. I didn't even see that before, but same thing that we see, right? So over the past weeks, you guys have seen we got one touch, two touch, three touch, four touch. The fifth touch, what does it do? Break. We just need to get the retest. This is actually a perfect scenario. And that's why I was upset earlier because I was waiting on this. And when you get a trade like this, guys, with every confirmation and it comes at the right time, I never tell people to over leverage, but I would have risked a lot on my account because I'm that confident on this trade. All right. So we've got the break of the trend line, one confirmation. We've got the break of trend. That's another confirmation. We've got a red line, which was once a support, has now become a resistance. We've got our order block. Okay, all we need is our trend, our Fibonacci tool, which is our trigger. This is our trigger. All right, so I'm going to draw it from the high to the low. My low's over here. I'm going to pull it across. Okay, now we had PPI, which was a fake out. So this is what I wanted to touch on as well. A fake out is when could it have used the second red line as well for support? Um, this resistance it could have been, but we always want to buy low and sell high. So if I can sell, well, the first trade we took, I called out a trade earlier and we caught the sell. So if I play this out, all I did was I just went pretty much in the middle of the red line, which again is just another area of support and resistance. So this wick here, I'm just going to draw it across, okay? This is the sell we caught. We caught the sell in the morning. So I knew that we would have got a reaction here. Okay, so if I play this out, came to my area, we caught the sell back to the red line. Okay, so TP was the red line. So it was a quick scalp. I said, okay, we're gonna take a sell from this area. Even on the 30-minute time frame, you can see um, this is what you call imbalance, guys. So before these candles came up, there was a gap. So from this wick, try and stay with me. From this wick up until this wick, there was a huge gap that needed to get filled. Okay. Price filled that. All right. So that was just a cheeky sell. But the ultimate sell that I was looking for, I had an entry at the start of the 78, stop loss just above the high. And I also had a sell at the top of the 88% or the red line, either or. Half, if you go 50%, to be safe, 50% of the order block is a good area, which is in with the red line. So my first entry would have been there. My second entry also would have been there. All right. Yeah. Julie, that's called a fair value gap. What does Chardonnay say? Sorry to go back. Could you explain the definition of an order block? So an order block is where you see the opposite. Okay. So whatever direction the price has gone, you will find an order block just before, but it will be the opposite. So if you see a buy and it's going up, if you go back, you'll be able to see a sell, then a buy candle, and then it goes up. Okay. Same for a sell. If it's going down, if you look up where it first started to drop, you will see a buy, then a sell. Okay. So for this example, right, we've got so many confirmations. We've got liquidity below, right? We've got a break of the trend line. I want to get the other side of the trend line. We've got it's within our red zone as well. So it's a support and resistance. So every confirmation's here, even the timing that it happened. So if I play this out, it came, wait, let's go a bit slower, right? And they say PPI, PP rubbish, PP rubbish. PP is just an excuse. This was going to happen anyway, right? This was going to happen anyway, all right? They just use it as an excuse to scare people that don't know what they're doing, right? So let's go to the 5 minute time frame or the 1 minute time frame, right? So what's the time now? The time is 10:50. So this is the sell we caught. Let's play this out. This is the sell we caught in the morning. Boom, came all the way down, hit TP on the red line. Okay. Thank you very much. Cool. Boom, TP hit, right? Now, this is where the markets are tricky, guys. Can you see? Let me try and make this a bit clearer. Okay. So you guys see, I've drawn out the order block. Can you see this buy to sell candle here? So many people probably would have thought to sell off of here and put their stop loss above the high. But they don't realize that you want to get a better price. So there's a better order block above. Okay, so there's one order block here. Some people may have put a sell, but you want to get as high as possible. So I called out a trade. I said there's a high risk trade. I don't know if you guys remember. Before PPI, I said there's a high risk trade. So just in case this did work, I never know. That's why I said it's a high risk trade. I put my entry at the start of this order block and my stop loss above the high. But what I wanted was the higher one. Okay. I wanted this one instead. So if we play this out, right? PPI was at 130. So let's draw a line on 130. 130. Right. PPI was 130. Okay. Oh, wait. No, it wasn't. Was it 130? It was 130. Right, I don't know why it's not. Anyways, you guys get the point, right? So we slightly got wicked out on the first trade. Okay. But if you would have just used the 30-minute order block and done 50% of it. So 50% of this order block. What do I mean by that? So just half it basically. So I had another tool where you can get like 50%. So I'll draw it from here. I'll change it to my 50% fib. Oh, just shy, right? But again, the red line is the better option. Okay. So entry at the red line, stops above the high, came to my area of 78, 88% retracement. Oh, where's my one now? Look, you lot made me lose my. Where's my fibs? Uh, see what I do for the team. There we go. Right. So came to our area. Okay. and literally is on its way down to TP1 was the where I pulled it from. TP2 is the blue line. TP3 is now down here. Okay. So beautiful trade, guys. This is a 1 to 10. You risk £100, you're making 1,000, risk 1,000, you're making 10. So when you know you could have made 10K today, it's a bit upsetting, but we have to be grateful either way. This is a perfect setup, guys. Over what I've been teaching the last 2, 3 weeks, it's come down exactly where the trend lines started as well. Boom. Okay, so this is going to keep on going. What's the time? The time is now 8:20. So what I'm now looking for, did that make sense, guys? Drop a one if that made sense. Drop a two if if you have no idea what I'm talking about. That makes sense. Hopefully that made sense. If it didn't, then it will. Okay. So that trade's gone now. We've missed that. That's fine. Now moving forward, what I want to look at um, is I still do believe. Right. So we're in a kind of a huge area right now. So we have, you can see price rejected off of a daily. This is a daily order block. Price is rejected off a daily order block. Like that's big. Like let's look at the last time it rejected a daily order block. Um, can't see one right now. Okay, even down here, right? So before this buy, if I clear this up, before this went up, guys, so it went up, this order block, okay? This buy to sell candle, you can see it rejected 50% of that area, 50% of this area, and look what happened after. It went to the moon, right? So now, the fact it's rejected this is it's we have to be a bit cautious because we could start now looking to sell off, right? Because it's been bullish for quite a while. I personally believe we can get a little push to my next red line. So I'm looking at 4535. I want it to come a little bit higher to then come down. So moving forward, what I'm looking at potentially is look, we have an order block here, but this just looks too easy. This is the 2 hour time frame. Let's go to the hour time frame. We have a nice order block. I just feel like this is just too basic. It's too basic to just react on there. So I believe that this Asian session, we're gonna obliterate this. We're gonna come to this order block over here, which is between my red area, and then we're gonna head towards at least, we can get back to here at least. So I don't think it's gonna respect it, but what we're gonna wait for is it's gonna come to this area, it's gonna do some rubbish, then it will go down, take out everyone, come to a more better price, and then make way. In addition to this, I know I was waiting on this for a while. This last wick, okay, this was a manipulation candle. So again, people had stop losses below. This wick pierced my wick over here. I believe that if I draw my trend line, we can get our third touch. So it's going to do one of two things, okay? It's going to do one of two things, but we have to just wait. Most of this game is waiting, guys. And that's the annoyance because we want money now, unfortunately. So I'm going to see what it does. I want to see if it respects this area. I don't believe it will, personally. I believe it's going to come a little bit lower. So if I get out my fibs from this order block, okay, so in the hour, we've got a nice order block here, right? Um, what do I mean by the order block is too basic? Like, do you know how many newbies and amateurs are going to be waiting on this? Like, this is just too easy. Like, it looks too obvious. Like, it just looks too obvious. I may be wrong in saying that, but One thing that I think you guys should live by, and write this down if you're taking notes. Observe the masses and do the opposite. Okay? So whatever most people do the opposite because most people don't have money. Okay? So for me, this is really, really basic. And as well, there's a lot of liquidity below. So there's liquidity below. So I feel like this is not ready to go. So I just feel like it's just gonna get obliterated. There's a lot of liquidity below. So what I would like to see is we can maybe try and get in a sell. What's the time now? 8:20. I want to get back into the sell. We're gonna get in a sell. And so that even if the buy doesn't happen, we're gonna be in a sell. Of course you guys want to do it. Of course you lot want to do it. Right? So what I think we can get is again from the high to the low. If we can get in here, similar thing to what just happened above, guys. So you see how there's a nice order block here, right? There's an order block here. So some people will look to sell here. But when we look above on the 3 minute time frame, there's a better order block up here, right? So I believe we can look for a sell. Um, so we're gonna try and catch a sell, guys. Um, So another thing as well, when it comes to the time zones, obviously up here it has like 1, 3, 5, 10. If you just type in the time, you can get a different time frame. So right now on the 5, on the 15, on the what are we on now? We're on a 5. It doesn't look clean. What I mean by clean, there's not a nice, like it's not a juicy order block in this bit here. If I go to the 10 minute, it's still not how I'd like it to look. 9, 9 looks good. Okay, so if we get 50% of the 9 minute time frame, I'm gonna stick it on the 88%. We're going to put the stop loss just above the high. Now, if this doesn't hold, then we have an other area at the top. Okay, so if this doesn't hold, I can see I'd rather buy high. So I'm going to draw out the same fibs, but we have a little bit of a higher zone up here. So again, this could be a potential. Uh, all right, so there's two ideas we're going to look at here. All right. So the first is this one here, where we're going to try and drag this down to our red zone at least. And then we have a second area above where we're looking at, again, a potential sell. All right. So this is what we're going to look for. Some people, I used to be cheeky back in the day, but cheeky doesn't really help. Some people were like, well, Josh, if it's kind of sell here, why can't we buy to it? Well, do it and see how it goes. But you're being cheeky. That's why I said it. You're just being greedy. So we're waiting for a sell and you just want to buy. So you're trying to take every play. Like you can't play every play. So, because some it may not come there, and then now it's if we're actually waiting for a sell, now you're in trouble. So I think this is what we're waiting for. But this liquidity, this just looks like a setup. This is a setup right here. This liquidity here, that's just a setup. There's no way that it's going to react off this, knowing that it hasn't taken out liquidity. So for Asian session, guys, look for sells. I'm going to be active tonight. So ideally, um, We're gonna see. We're gonna see what can happen. All right, we can see what can happen. Cool. Any questions, guys? Any questions? I'm gonna set an alert on my phone. I'm gonna set an alert here, and it will ping off on my phone, so I haven't got to sit on the charts all day like a crackhead. You're gonna put the trade ideas tonight. If it gives me the opportunity, I'll pull it out. I'll send it out to you guys. Okay. If it gives me an opportunity, I'll pull the trigger. I'm trigger friendly recently. Cool. So that's that. All right. That's what I feel could happen next. What I next wanted to talk about, and I think this is really, really important, guys, um, is when to get out a trade. Now, I need you guys to understand the mindset behind our systems, okay? So when it comes to copy trading, okay, so signals, okay, um, you need to have a goal, all right? As in, what are you going to make per day? What are you going to make per trade? Now, for me, when it comes to copy trading, for example, if a trade comes through from Telegram or whatever it may be, my I might have a goal of say I want to make £1,000 from this trade. Okay. I need you all, especially if you still work a job. Drop a two in the chat if you still work a job. Okay. Guys, if you still work a job, I really need you to be Sammy, you work a job? I didn't know that. Congrats. If you guys still work a job, I need you to really, really understand that, like, some of you are still working hourly wages. If you see an hourly wage on your phone, please secure the bag. All right? Please secure the bag. If you see your daily wage and you have the audacity to think that you can wait to get more and you're at your job, you're being ungrateful. So, with copy trading, have a goal. And I genuinely believe until you know what you're doing, guys, if it's blue, it's up to you. That's your slogan. If you're new, you don't know what you're doing, you don't know how to trade, you don't have a strategy, if you have no reason to hold the trade other than the fact that you want to make more money, you don't know what you're doing just yet. If I ever hold a trade, it's not because I want to make more money. I hold a trade because there's target zones of where I believe would hit. There's a big difference. I say to you guys, some of you in a trade and you're like, oh, I want to hold to £100, and then you get to 100, and I want to hold to 200, and then you end up blowing your account somehow, right? So copy trading, you want to have a goal. So when I send out trades, guys, we always go in blue. Like, it's very rarely it'll go straight to stop loss. So I need you guys to understand that if it's blue, it's up to you. Take your money and bounce, okay? And if it does come back, unless it hits TP1, all right, so write this down. Unless it hits TP1, you can re-enter if it comes back to entry. So earlier, it went to entry, it went down at 100 pips. Pay yourself. It came back to entry. Take another trade, another 100 pips. And you can literally catch it up and down before it hits stop loss and before it hit take profit. Instead of waiting that whole time, you're panicking, you're sweating, and you could have just made 50 to £100 a day. Because the problem isn't trading, guys. The problem isn't the scanners. It's not the trades that are sent out. It's your management that with the trade. Okay. So you always have a few options as well. You can either take partials, you can either move SL into profit, or you close the trade and re-enter. Really, really important for you guys to understand. Okay. And I know I'm speaking to someone on this call. You always get in blue. Why do you end up blowing your account or end up in red? Because you don't have a game plan, you don't have a goal. Now, what can help you is compound daily, right? This is something that I used when I first started. Where if you haven't seen this, you come onto this app, it's a website, put in your initial balance, so £500 interest rate. So you should look towards, I think if you can look towards 3% a day or a 3% a trade, I think that's really, really powerful. 3% a day, that's 15% a month, that's 60% a sorry, 3% a day is 15% a week, that's 60% a month. 60%, guys. If you had 100K, you just made 60 bags. Your problem is you have a £100 account. So it's not the percentage that's a problem, it's the capital that you have. Okay. So 5% per day is or per trade is your goal. Length of days, you always want to work in 3 months. I always work in 3 month periods. Okay. Um, Daily reinvestment, just put 100%. Include weekends. I wouldn't recommend trading every day. Weekends, rest your mind, have a break from the charts. Um, Calculate. All right. So if you started with £500, in 90 days, you've pretty much quadrupled your balance. So for anyone building the business, if you just stay disciplined and work towards a goal without being greedy, you have results and you have confidence speaking about the business so you can make money and have more money for your trading account. How many trade, how many trades do you recommend in a day? As please special if you lose one trade. How many trades do you recommend in a day to take? Um, so I don't think there's a number of how many trades you can take. I think you should go off whether you've reached your target or not. So you could make your target in one day or one trade. So look, there's 30 trades here. You guys can see on my page, there's 30 trades here or 30 days. You can either do it one by one. You can do this is one trade. So a trade, I'm going to take one trade today. Josh called out a trade. I'm going to take it. I made £15. The next trade, Zen Nova called out a trade. I made another £15. So you have a goal. If you want to do this per day and you don't have the whole day to take every trade, then take your £15 and wait for the next day. Like if you can just build the right habits now, guys, this is 98% of trading is habits. If you build the wrong habit, I was speaking to who was I speaking? I was speaking to someone the other day. And when I started my journey, guys, I started with a £500 account and I was using zero point 0.5 lot sizes. Okay. That's what I was doing. I made so much money so quickly that I built the habit that I can always make money so quickly by over leveraging. So that was my expectation. And I ended up losing everything and more. So if you're brand new, I need you to understand, build the habit correctly of being disciplined with your daily targets, your weekly targets, your monthly targets. And when you zoom out, guys, you'll realize you've made money. Like £50 a day is 2 grand a month or £1,000 a month. Okay. Sometimes when it does do that thing, when it goes near TP, then back up to for a re-entry, I try to stop myself because I know I can be greedy. So I don't know if it's me being greedy or I'm just reading it right. One more time. Sometimes when it does do that thing, when it goes near TP, then back up to for a re-entry, I try stop myself from doing what? Because I know I can be greedy. So I don't know if it's me being greedy or am I just reading it right? I don't think I get that question, Travis. Try again, please, bro. But back to my point, guys, you really, really need to have a game plan. Okay. My game plan is I try to make 3 grand a day. If I make 3 grand a day, I'm on track to making my goal for the month. Okay. That could be split up in 3 trades for grand, grand, grand. That could be 5 trades, 10 trades. Like take your money, be grateful, guys. If it's blue, it's up to you. Take your money and keep it. Like imagine if someone gave you £15 every 10 minutes or £15 like in cash every hour. You would take it. But when it comes and it's so easy on our phone and you've done no work and you just put in a few digits, we don't realize it's still money. And that's what I wanted to focus on today. All right. Um, any questions on this? This is really, really important, guys. I can show you all the trades, I can do all these things. If you don't have a plan, you're planning to fail, and that's why you may not be profitable. Okay. So look, for example, yeah, I know we're off topic, but should we buy now? What's the time? Right, guys. I'm personally, I'm personally taking a trade. All right. It is a high risk trade. Please don't over leverage. Don't get excited. Okay. But I do believe that a lot of people are looking for sells. If we can sweep this liquidity, if we can find if we can find an area of if we can find an area of respect, That's a respectful area. If we can get a pullback to here, guys, we are going to take a high risk trade, okay? This is high risk, so please, please, please manage your risk. But with a 47 pip stop loss, I'm happy to take this. And if the sell doesn't happen, we're in the buy. So how I would manage this is I wouldn't set a take profit. I would just go break even once it's in profit, and I would still take the sell. But I have margin now. I have leverage because I'm already in the buy. All right. So we're mainly looking for sells. I'm being cheeky, but you know what? Sometimes you can be cheeky. If this plays out, we are in the buy and we're ultimately looking for the sell. So what I would do is I would go break even and then I'd put my stop loss in profit so that if it does, the sell does happen, cool. If it doesn't, we're still in the buy. Okay. So we've got a nice support level, right? We've got a nice level of support and resistance over here. This is a nice level. You can see respected it, respected it, respected it. So if we can get a pullback to this blue area, I'm going to take a second entry and this is where we're going to get in. All right. So stop loss is to finite 4,357.50. I'm going to round it to the quarter. Entry is 4,350.50. And TP is up to you. Okay. So we're going to take this trade. If we can get, again, we've got one touch, two touch, three touch. If we can get a four touch, then that would be amazing. I'm going to write it into the chat. If someone can write it, please. Stop loss is 4,345.50. Okay, 4,345.50. I might send this out. Should I send it into the chat or should we only drop it for those that jumped on the call? What do you guys think? Drop a one if I should drop it in the chat, drop a two if it's just for you guys. Aw, you lot are sweet. I personally don't think we should. People should be making this call. But because I'm a nice guy and there's enough money for everyone, I'm gonna send this in. I'm gonna send this in. I'm gonna send this in. We're gonna send this in, man. Right, so. This is a high risk trade. I need to make it very, very clear before people over leverage. High risk trade, personally taken. Remember, guys, we're looking for the sell, but we're being cheeky. Okay, entry is so a buy limit on gold. Oh no, I'm just gonna do market execution. I'm just gonna say buy now. Buy now. SL is what's the SL? 4,345.50 TP if it's blue. No, I'm not gonna TP to be confirmed. Manage risk. How sure are we? What do you mean? With the trade? On a scale of 1 to 10, this is a 6. This is a 6. You can never be sure, really. You just have to make sure you manage your risk. That's all you can do, if I'm being honest. That's all you can do, right? So second entry, and we're going to put the stop loss just below the low, 4,345.50, 4,345.50. This is a high risk trade, guys, but please just manage your risk. All we can be sure of, Chardonnay, is whether we've managed our risk or not. Okay, that's all we can be sure about. If we can get this, guys, then we're in the money. Okay, and I feel like it will happen. We've got an hour and a bit until it opens or closes. So I feel like I feel like it could happen, but if it doesn't, we're not going to complain. If it can break this, find respect here and move up, then we're good. Okay. I'm going to give it a little bit of room. I'm going to change the stop loss to 4345. Okay, guys, 4345. I'm just going to change it to give it a bit of room. 4345. Let me tell it in the chat quickly. All right, 4345, not the 50, guys. All right, so I'm just going to edit it. SL edited. Just a little bit of room because I know what spreads are like. 4345. I'm happy with that. Okay. But yeah, you can never be sure, Chardonnay. That's the art, or the not the art, the con with this game is you can never be sure, but you can only manage your risk. All right. I'm going off what I can see. I'm not going off how I feel. I'm not going off anything other than the fact that I believe the sell may not happen now. We find a good level of support and resistance. We want the sell, but if we can get in the buy before, then it's good. What are the numbers together, please? I've put it into the chat box, Princess, and not the chat box, the chat, the results chat. So if you check the results chat, it's all there. TPs I haven't got for now. If this 5 minute as well. So you see, this is a 5 minute candle, guys, right? There's 2 minutes left of this candle. It's not, write this down for anyone taking notes. It's not where the candle opens, it's where the candle closes. So right now, the candle's open below my blue box. Within the next 1 minute, 53 seconds, I need the candle to close above or within my blue box. So this is called a fake out, all right? Which means it looks like it's going to keep going down, and it might. Like, don't hold me to what I'm saying. I'm just going off what a fake out is. So we need it within the next 5 minutes to close above here. If it does, amazing. If it doesn't, we're cooked. We don't want to get cooked on a live session. I'm gonna have to cut this because it's recorded. Shit, right? This is not financial advice. I'm on a demo account. So yeah, disclaimer. This is a demo account, guys. This is a demo account. Okay. This is a demo. Even if I got the fibs out and I did it from low, order block, low to high, you guys can see that. It's touched our order block. Yes, it's the 1 minute, but we're in a good area. You can see my order block, it's respected it. How long we got left of this 5 minute candle? We got 30 seconds left. If this can close and spin, see you later. If this can close above the blue box, which it's pulling up, we've got 30 seconds left. Let's just see what it does. Yeah, I use a 0.01 lot size, guys, and it's a demo account. And everybody's using 0.01 also. Sounds lig, trust me. Right, we've got 10 seconds. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, it didn't close perfectly. Let's go 15. Ah, the 15. Okay, the 15 looks all right. But we've got 10 minutes left of this. But yeah, look, let's just see. Let's just see. Let's just see. I'm gonna stop recording.